It's working perfectly. Okay.
Yeah, I will. Distinguished shareholders, in line with the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission, the 16th annual general meeting of your company will be held by proxy, having obtained the Commission's approval. Although the effects of the COVID pandemic has significantly lessened, the coronavirus is still prevalent. Therefore, we shall continue to observe the relevant COVID-19 safety guidelines. It gives me pleasure to introduce the meeting and welcome all of you, and we shall take the national anthem. It's 10 a.m. Always, all of us. God does not discriminate. The company secretary has informed me that the quorum has been formed, and the meeting, as we sang the national anthem, has been declared open. Please be advised that this meeting is being streamed live and being recorded also. It is my pleasure to introduce the directors of your company to you members. From my right is our President, Group CEO, Owen Omogiafo, Mrs. Next to her is our Vice Chair and Independent Non-Executive Director, Mrs. Foluke Abrazak. Next to our Vice Chair is Dr. Stanley Lawson, a Non-Executive Director. To the extreme right is Oliver Andrews, another Independent Non-Executive Director. Oliver was appointed by the board on August 20, 2022, and shall be presented later to shareholders at this meeting for 2021, I'm sorry, please. Thank my friend. Well, yeah, I know now, but why would I not know you? And I know you're fasting. I can see the impact on you. Thanks to our shareholder. And to my left is, to my far left is Victor Famoibo, an independent non-executive director of your company, who was also appointed post the last AGM. And next to him is Mrs. Toyin Sani, a non-executive director. Next to her is Mr. Emmanuel Norom, a non-executive director. I see he's a very popular board member. Very popular board member. Behaving well. So let's clap again for him. Next to him is Mrs. Toyin Sani, a non-executive director. Oh, no. Oh, God. Next to Toyin, and I said no to that. And my left is our company secretary, Mrs. Kofo Oloko Olawoyi. Joining us virtually is Malam Amadou Sambo, the fourth independent non-executive director of your company, appointed also. See him standing like a military man. In respect to his shareholders, appointed post the last AGM. You may stand down as they say in military. And finally, myself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would also like to introduce the managing directors and CEOs of our subsidiaries who produce the revenue for the company. Starting with Chris Ezafulukwe, CEO, Transcorp Power Limited. So if we have power, we know who to hold. If we don't have power. Next is Mrs. Dupe Olushola, MD CEO, Transcorp Hotel PLC. And next is Vincent Ozoude, MD CEO, TransAfam Power, another power creator. And next is Mr. Peter Ikenga, the energy man, Transcorp Energy Limited. We also have representatives of our regulators with us at this meeting. I would like to introduce them. Representative of Nigerian Exchange Group, Mrs. Antonia Ame, she's attending virtually. And next is representative of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Graham Omenka. Representative of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Mr. Lawal Ibrahim. I would also like to introduce to you representatives of the external auditors, Deloitte and Touche, Michael Daudu, and Stella Mba. Our registrars are also here, and we have Catherine Mosu of, the company, Africa Prudential PLC, the only PLC, registrar PLC in Nigeria, I believe. The board and corporate governance evaluation consultant, Ms. Angela Aneke and Co., represented by herself, Ms. Angela Aneke, and Mrs. April Anazodu. Both are attending virtually. You can see I'm looking at the TV. Also, we have members of the Statutory Audit Committee, led by John Isesele, Chair, Matthew Esenajo, Member, Judith Rapu, Member, Dr. Stanley Lawson, Ms. Obi Ibekwe, who would have been the last member of this SAC, retired from the board, from the company, or the company's board, with effect from October 30, 2021. And finally, I'd like to recognize and welcome the proxies and shareholders present at this meeting. You are all welcome. And a member prayed before for God to bless, all shareholders. Minority I'm minority too now, but let him bless all shareholders. We wish to have a full recording of the meeting, and please be reminded that the meeting is being streamed live to the public. So over 200,000 shareholders and the larger investor public are watching. Please indicate by show of hand and make use of the microphones when you wish to second a motion or ask a question. Kindly state your name clearly and endeavor to be brief and straight to the point when called upon, so we can allow others, more people to intervene, to interact. Please, let's try not to repeat what previous speakers have said again, so that we can create room for others. Kindly also know that the register of directors shareholding and the record of attendance at board meetings of directors eligible for re-election are available for inspection at the registrar's table during the meeting and can be viewed by contacting the registrars. The requisite information is also available in the annual report we sent out. I will now call on our Company Secretary, Mrs. Kofo Olawi, to read the notice of the meeting.
Thank you, Chairman. Notice of the 16th Annual General Meeting of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, PLC. Notice is hereby given that the 16th Annual General Meeting of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, PLC, the company, is scheduled to hold on Thursday, April 21, 2022, at Transcorp Hilton, Abuja, 1 Agui Ironsi Street, Maitama, Abuja, at 10 a.m. to transact the following businesses. 1, to lay before the members the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended December 31, 2021, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to approve the appointments of the following persons as directors of the company. A, Malam Amadou Sambo, Mr. Victor Famuyibo, and Mr. Oliver Andrews. 4, to re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation: Mr. Tony O. Elume Lucioen, Mrs. Foluke Abdurazak, and Dr. Stanley Lawson. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of auditors for the 2022 financial year. 6, to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. 7, to elect members of the Statutory Audit Committee. 8, to consider and, if thought fit, to pass the following as ordinary resolutions. 8.1, that the company be and is hereby authorized to invest in, acquire, or divest from any business and or carry out as the directors may deem appropriate and in accordance with any relevant laws, any actions, including but not limited to restructuring, reorganization, reconstruction, and such other business arrangement, exercise, or actions. 8.2, that subject to regulatory approval where necessary, the directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps and do all acts that they deem necessary in furtherance of the above, including but not limited to executing and filing all such forms, papers, or documents as they deem necessary, as may be required with the appropriate authorities, appointing professional advisors and parties that they deem necessary upon such terms and conditions that the directors may deem appropriate. 9, to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as special resolutions. 9.1, that the name of the company be and is hereby changed from Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, PLC to Transnational Corporation, PLC. 9.2, that pursuant to Section 131 and other applicable provisions, if any, of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and Article 12 of the Company's Articles of Association, the authorized share capital of the company be and is hereby reduced from 22 billion 500 million naira divided into 45 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to 20 billion 323 million 995,146 naira 50 kobo divided into 40 billion 647 million 990,293 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each by cancelling 4 billion 352 million 9,707 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, which have not been issued. 9.3, that Clause 6 of the Memorandum of Association of the company be and is hereby amended and substituted with the following. The share capital of the company is 20,323,995,146 naira 50 kobo, divided into 40,647,990,293 ordinary shares of 50 million each, with power to divide the shares in the capital for the time being, whether original or increased, into several classes. Compliance with COVID-19 related directives and guidelines. The federal government of Nigeria, state governments, health authorities, and regulatory agencies have issued a number of guidelines and directives aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Due to the restrictions on gathering and social distancing and the need to comply with these directives, the Corporate Affairs Commission has approved that the annual general meeting should hold in accordance with the Corporate Affairs Commission guidelines on holding AGM of public companies by proxy. The convening and conduct of the AGM shall be done in compliance with these directives and guidelines. 2. Proxy. Any member of the company entitled to attend and vote at this meeting is also entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his or her stead. A proxy need not be a member of the company. For the appointment of the proxy to be valid, a proxy form must be completed and deposited either at the office of the company's registrar, Africa Prudential PLC, 220B Ikorodu Road, Palm Grove, Lagos, or via email at cfc@africaprudential.com, not later than 48 hours before the time fixed for the meeting. A blank proxy form is attached to the annual report and may also be downloaded from the company's website at www.transcorpnigeria.com. 3. Attendance by proxy. In line with CSE guidelines, attendance of the AGM shall be by proxy only. Shareholders are required to appoint a proxy of their choice from the list of nominated proxies below. A. Mr. Tony O. Elumelu CON. B. Mrs. Foluke Abdurazak. C. Mrs. Oweno Mogiafo. D. Mrs. Kofolo Konlawoyin. E. Mr. Johnny Cecile. F. Mr. Matthew A. Sonanjo. G. Ms. Judith Rapu. H. Mrs. B.C. Bakari. I. Sasoni Wosu. And J. Dr. Farouk Umar. 4. Stamping of proxy. The company has made arrangements at its cost for the stamping of the duly completed and signed proxy forms submitted to the company's registrars within the stipulated time. 5. Live stream of AGM. The AGM will be streamed live. This will enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The link for the AGM live stream will be made available on the company's website at www.transcorpnigeria.com. 6. Dividend. If the dividend recommended by the directors is approved by the shareholders at the AGM, dividend will be paid by Friday, April 22, 2022, to the shareholders whose names appear in the company's register of members as at close of business on Friday, April 8, 2022. 7. Closure of register. The register of members of the company will be closed from Monday, April 11, 2022 to Friday, April 15, 2022, both dates inclusive, for the purpose of dividend payment and updating the register. 8. Nomination to the Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 4046 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, any member may nominate a shareholder for election as a member of the Audit Committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination to the Company Secretary at least 21 days before the AGM. Such notice of nomination should be sent via email to info@transcorpnigeria.com for the attention of the Company Secretary. CAMA further provides the members of the Audit Committee should be financially literate. 8. E-dividend registration. Notice is hereby given to all shareholders to open bank accounts, stockbroking accounts, and CSCS accounts for the purpose of receiving dividend payments electronically. A detachable application form for e-dividend is attached to the annual reports to enable all shareholders furnish particulars of their accounts to the registrar as soon as possible. 10. Unclaimed dividend warrants and share certificates. Shareholders are hereby informed that a number of share certificates and dividend warrants which were returned to the registrars as unclaimed are still in the custody of the registrars. Any shareholder affected by this notice is advised to contact the company's registrars, Africa Prudential PLC, 220B, Ikorodu Road, Palm Grove, Lagos, or via email at cfc@africaprudential.com to lay claim. 11. Profiles of directors for re-election. The profiles of Mr. Tony Elumelu, CON, Mrs. Foluke Abdurazak, and Dr. Stanley Lawson, who will be retiring by rotation and will be presented for re-election, are amongst the profiles of directors that are provided in the 2021 annual report and on the company's website at www.transcorpnigeria.com. 12. E-annual reports published on the website. In order to improve delivery of our annual reports, we have inserted a detachable form in the 2021 annual report and hereby request shareholders to complete the form by providing their contact and any other requested details, and thereafter return same to the registrars for further processing. Additionally, an electronic version of the 2021 annual report is available on the company's website at www.transcorpnigeria.com. 13. Rights of shareholders to ask questions. Shareholders have a right to ask questions not only at the meeting, but also in writing prior to the meeting, and such written questions must be submitted to the company on or before Friday, April 15, 2022, dated this 28th day of March 2022 by order of the board. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. It's not easy to be company secretary of a PLC. But when she was speaking and she said open bank account, I thought the statement was incomplete. I thought she was going to say open bank account, United Bank of Africa, UVA. But she didn't say that. So I know the director shareholders are entitled to where they want to bank. I know my statement has been sent to members. Thanks for taking it, but I like to highlight a few parts. Your company, in my viewpoint, has done very well, and I like it so I can see you better. And we see good performance across all our sectors, and I commend the group CEO and the subsidiary CEOs, the all executive members of Transcorp Group, and of course, the rest of our Transcorp people. It has not been easy, as we all know, and the sectors we operate in are also a bit tough sectors. Transcorp Power Limited, for instance, its revenue improved by 14% from 65 billion naira to 74 billion, accounting for about 70% of our total group revenue. If you recall that prior to this time, the only business generating revenue for our group prior to our investment was Transcorp Hotels. But today, we have one of the new investments we made, Transcorp Power, accounting for 70% of the group's gross revenue. Its profit before tax increased by 92% from 12 billion to 23 billion. This excellent return again validates the investment and commitment we made, especially to this critical sector that we see as the oxygen, as in fact the blood for the transformation of Nigeria's economy. Our investment in Transafan Power Limited was also consolidated in the group financial in 2021, accounting for 15% of revenue and 25% of the group's total asset as of December 2021. Our hospitality business returned to profitability, record achievement, given the pandemic that we experienced. This further enhanced our group's and company performance during the year. Our gross earnings as a group increased to 111 billion in 2022 from 75 billion in 2020. Our profit before tax for the group increased to 27.9 billion in 2021, up from 1.6 billion in 2020. I'd like to commend again our management and leadership for this. Profit after tax for the group increased to 23.8 billion in 2021, up from 3.8 billion in 2020. And your company's group total assets grew to 416 billion in 2021, up from 319 billion in 2020. So shareholders, I'm sure you will share with me the considerable satisfaction of knowing that your company has continued to surpass its past performance despite the macroeconomic difficulties and, more importantly, the COVID pandemic. Our priority going forward into the next financial year will be to continue to optimize our existing assets and pursue growth strategies. In the coming months, you will begin to see all of this as leadership of the company, they unfold them. This is important to ensure sustainable growth in an ever-changing operating landscape. Last point I want to comment on in my statement is what we consider extremely important to us as a group, more so now than ever before in the world that we live in. And that is environmental, social, and governance position of your company, what is called ESG. At the core of your company's purpose is a commitment to building socially responsible and impactful businesses in key strategic economic sectors that serve our diverse stakeholders. Transcorp, as a responsible corporate citizen, has consistently embraced and sustained this corporate culture and social commitment by driving the integration of social, environmental, and governance criteria in all aspects of the businesses and our dealings and investment decisions. Through each of our businesses, we work to reduce any negative impact, be it on water, air, noise, and light pollution from our business operations on our host communities. We believe that this is what sets the Transcorp Group clearly apart from the rest. We believe in peaceful, harmonious, mutually rewarding coexistence with the communities that we do business in. To us at Transcorp Group, it's a call beyond profitability. It's a call beyond business success. In fact, business success to us is interwoven in our commitment to ESG principles. We have done quite a lot that is on our website, and more will be uploaded in areas we consider very important to communities and wider stakeholders we engage with. I therefore like, as I end, to appreciate you, our esteemed shareholders, who continue to demonstrate great confidence in your company. We appreciate your valuable support during the year. We want, more importantly, to thank our hardworking Transcorp Group people, our employees, for their utmost dedication towards achieving our vision of creating sustainable value for all our stakeholders. I also like to thank and commend your board of directors and again management for their devotion and invaluable contribution towards the progress that our company has attained, and more for their commitment and eagerness to the future that we see ahead of us. I'd like to reiterate your company's board and management commitment to continuing the significant achievements that have been recorded. All of us know the current economic and environmental challenges that we face, and we know they will not be solved in the short term. Nonetheless, as long-term investors, we remain focused on achieving our strategic objectives and creating long-term value for our esteemed shareholders. This is Afro-capitalism. This is what drives the philosophy. This is what drives what we do at Transcorp Group. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now, okay, thank you. I would now call upon the representative of our external auditors, Deloitte and Touche, to read the report of the auditors on page 88 of the annual report, which had been circulated to members together with the audited financial statement for the year ended December 31, 2021. Auditors, please.
The chairman, directors, shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everyone. As the chairman said, it's on page 88, the report. So I'll be reading the first two pages, paragraphs, and the last one. I read. The opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statement of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC and its subsidiaries, set out on pages 93 to 166, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at 31st December 2021, the consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity, consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the note to the consolidated and separate financial statement, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statement give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC as at 31st December 2021. And its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standard, the requirement of Company and Allied Matter Act, 2020, and Financial Reporting Council Act 2021. The last paragraph. Is on page 91. Reports on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 5th schedule of Company and Allied Matter Act, 2021, we expressly state that we have obtained all information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. The group has kept proper books of accounts so far as appear from our examination of those books. The group and company financial position and its statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with books of account and returns. Signed by Stellamba for Deloitte and Touche on 25th March 2022. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will now ask the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to read the committee's report on page 85 of the annual report. Again, it's been sent to us.
Yes. Chairman, directors, and shareholders. Page 85. Report of the Statutory Audit Committee for the year ended 31st December 2021. A. The accounting and reporting policies of the company for the year ended 31st December 2021 are consistent with legal requirements and ethical practices. D. We have considered the independent auditor's post-audit report and management responses thereon and are satisfied with the responses to our questions as well as the state of affairs of at Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, signed by John Isesele, dated this 14th day of March 2021. Members of the committee are 1. John Isesele, 2. Matthew Esonojo, then 3. Judith Rapo, then Dr. Stanley Lawson. Thank you.
Thank you. The members, shareholders, please refer to page 86 and 87 of the annual report for the consultant's report on the board evaluation and corporate governance report. We'll call on. Okay. Okay, so we've read it already. We have it we have it in our report. Okay, taken as read. Okay, you now have an opportunity, shareholder, to ask questions regarding the report and financial statements. In doing so, to help ensure that we give the right answer, it will help if you could refer to the page of the report and financial statements to which your question relates. So we'll give number. No, sit down, please. Sit down. We'll give number. Sit down. Number 1, Dr. Farouk. Number 2, Chief Okelana. Number 3, my friend from Sokoto Shareholder chapter. Number 4, a man who is dressed in Igbo attire. Is that Ajudo?
Patrick.
You're wearing glasses, so you look. You're wearing glasses, so I didn't even know that was Ajuda. Okay, that is 4 on this side. So we'll come here. Bishop Akbore 5, and BC 6, and Our Lady 7. And also another lady 8. So we have 8, 4. So, okay, but again, let's handle it as advice. Go on, please.
Mr. Chairman, directors of Transcorp PLC, regulators and shareholders. Mr. Chairman, my name is Farouk Umar, PhD, President Association for the Advancement of the Rights of Nigerian Shareholders. I am the Babalaje of Initial Land and Goni of Quran from Kano. Mr. Chairman, let me start by telling you that I am not a minority shareholder in Transcorp. Mr. Chairman, I believe in what we are doing, and I urge my colleagues to invest in this company. After our last AGM, when I heard you very well that we should invest for the future, for our future and that of our children. Mr. Chairman, I have over 30 million shares of Transcorp today. I have confidence in you, in what you are doing, and I have not made a wrong decision, because the results we are seeing on page 5, from a profit of less than 4 billion, today within one financial year, we are 24, almost 24, 23.8. Mr. Chairman, this is very commendable. I have not seen a company so far that has achieved this level of progress compared to the previous year. I think we should clap for them. Mr. Chairman, I am also happy, and I'm sure shareholders will be surprised. I'm happy with the 2 kobo you are paying as dividend, because, Mr. Chairman, you are investing for us in this company. Like I said, for me now, I'm nearing 70 years. I'm not investing for myself. So you should reserve our profit and invest and so that the companies will be more profitable. Look at Hilton, for example. Look at the way it has been transformed. Mr. Chairman, I also want to tell you that I try as much as possible to pay myself. I came 2 days ago, and I made sure that I paid out of my pocket to stay in Transcorp. This is what we should be doing. Mr. Chairman, I'm also happy that you have now purchased the AFAM Genco. It showed the kind of improvement we are having in the company. And I believe that if we are patient, like you said, the oil producing, we may see us producing oil by the last quarter of 2023. Mr. Chairman, I want to take you to page 26. And I want you to see what is there. I'm sure you know. Mr. Chairman, that is the picture of Dupe. Why am I drawing your attention to this page? Mr. Chairman, last year, toward the end of last year, I stayed in Transcorp. She didn't see me. I saw her attending to customers. The CEO, I have never seen that. Mr. Chairman, this is again very commendable. It shows us that shows us the quality of people you are employing for us. Later, I went and I spoke with her, and I told her that anytime I have an opportunity, I will tell you of what I have seen. I think we should commend and clap for her. Mr. Chairman, you are also, or maybe I will say, the company is concerned with, let me now refer to the minority shareholders. Mr. Chairman, on page 47, for the first time, we are seeing the picture of shareholders. And again, we are happy, Mr. Chairman. It showed the Secretariat is not only concerned about putting the pictures of the directors, the management staff, but they are also concerned about shareholders. Mr. Chairman, we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, on a final note, I want to thank you for the way you are running our company. And last year, you told us that we are going to see changes. We have seen it. Even the purchase of AFAM, we have seen the increment. Mr. Chairman, I hope and pray that the tempo will continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My respected chairman, CON, my Egbon for 1 year. At least you are my senior brother for 1 year, so recognize that. So may God continue to bless you. My names are Sir Olatunde Okelana, MSc JP. I'm a security consultant. I have a little story to tell you. I happened to serve the Nigerian Army for 35 years, and I retired successfully with that, meritoriously. But my dear Tony, when my salary in the Nigerian Army was just 200 naira, the first share I bought in my life was UBA for 180 kobo per share, and it's 100 units. Out of 200 naira, I spent 180 naira out of my salary. Then, I don't have anybody to give money. My mother is working. a very good Benin woman. She's working. I am able to pay for my salary. 200 naira for Nigerian Army as at 1984, 85, 86. That was my first shares in my life. And that same year, UBA gave me 2 for 1. I got 300 shares. If I've been selling shares in my life, I've never sold my UBA for one day. And I will tell you I'm a minority shareholder because I didn't borrow money to buy shares. I thank God. Please, and deserve a round of applause. I never borrow money to buy shares. My dear Tony, you might not know those who love you, but you know those you love. Maybe because of my military background, I am always loyal to a fault. And I'm unrepentant loyalist of Tony Elumelu because of what you stand for. Not because of your name, but because of what you stand for. What do you stand for? Humility, compassion, transformation. And these people you see on this board, I know them like I know the back of my hand, like your vice chairman. We forget about genders. Chairman is a chairman. There's nothing like chair lady. I've never seen it in English dictionary because I study English French. When you translate it, you still have that gender. Chairman is a chairman because we are all men. God himself said, do I look at it? God is not a woman. Yes, my dear chairman, the people you have on this table, both left and right, they are very wonderful people. I know Stanley Lawson very, very well, like I know the back of my hand. And my dear pastor, he's a pastor of my church. I am a redeemer by the grace of God. He's a pastor, one of the churches in the Redeem. And you see, these people are prayer warrior. But can I tell you one thing? All these your lieutenants are following your footsteps. If I say something about Owen, we'll be here till tomorrow evening. You know why? Anything you want from this lady, provided she has the power to give it to you, she will give it with a smile. And I want you to thank you for that. Then when you go to, because when we are talking at the shareholders, I am a pioneer member of Audit Committee in this country. 1991 for National Oil. Even as a soldier, Asan Katsina was my chairman before General Gowan became my chairman. S.C. Okoli and Okoye was the MD. As at 1991, we set the pace that the Audit Committee are following today. And I'm not a politician, but remember, all human beings were a political animal. Tony, I will always pray for you. You know why? Because all the investment I have in my life, you encouraged me. You might not know. When others are selling the registrar department, those selfish Nigerians who are not kind-hearted like you, they sold their registrar department, but you made me a shareholder of Afriland, Transcorp PSC, APR, the only public hotel company in Nigeria. And this woman, Mrs. Nwosu, for example, she's performing wonderfully because she's a grassroots member of that place. My dear brother, you've done a good job. I stay in Transcorp Hotel with my money. After retirement in the Army, my family are in the US, for example. If I just leave Ogbomoso, fly from Iloni to Abuja, Dupe can bear me with me. I stay 7 days with my money in this hotel. Okay. The man I disturb very well is Islam. Please give him a very round of applause. And I want to use the same opportunity to welcome the outgoing, to welcome the new GM of Transcorp Hotel, and to thank immensely the outgoing GM of Transcorp Hotel. Having said that, my chairman, I want you to go to this page 25, Transcorp Power Limited. What is can you tell us about the power now, the position we have in this country? No, I told you at the Transcorp Hotel. I don't know the script of this hotel. I left a hotel yesterday from another meeting. I stayed there overnight. I almost ran away. Do you know why? When you are in Transcorp Hotel, you don't know when the light goes off or when light comes in. There's light 24/7. It's only when you are noticing, you just see something like a flash. Like what we call phenomenon. A phenomenon is a possible datum or group of data of an experience at any moment. You just experience it, and you see that you will not know that light has gone or when the light comes. When you are in Transcorp Hotel, you are home. But you know what you will do? That's your entrance. The ticket is no longer working as at this morning. We have to do something. What we lack in Nigeria is maintainability. You spend a lot of money for this hotel. I am always happy to sleep here. And I'm very comfortable because I am a gold member. In the next 10, 15 days, I will become a diamond. Anywhere I go, I sleep in Transcorp Hotel. My birthday will be in the Hilton Garden Inn in Dubai. They will give me a beautiful cake for my birthday, April 24. I am telling you that when I'm in Transcorp eating, especially Abuja, this is where I join eating or no. And this is where I'm spending my money. But all my point, I utilize it outside because you've given me a fantastic bonus to be able to sleep very comfortably. Tony, may God continue to bless you. But everybody do me a favor. Please, let's give Tony a standing ovation. Please, do me that favor. I beg you. Everybody, except him, we sit down. Give him a standing ovation. Hey, Chairman of the Committee, are you sleeping? Give him a standing ovation. I am very happy for you. So the last thing I want you to do for us, please sit down, my dear brethren. Let me use brethren as we use it in the church. Brethren, you know what you will do for us? Transcorp Hotel in Lagos, Ikoyi, tell us the position. For me to come from Ilorin to fly to this place, it cost me 100,000. But if I put fuel, I have a very good car too. If I put fuel in my car, maybe my car take about 11, 12, 13,000. I will get to Lagos. If I can sleep in and eating in Lagos too, I will be happy. But for me to come to Abuja, it will take me 100,000 already. Let's do something about that. And I want to wonderfully ask everybody to thank the staff of Transcorp, not just the hotel, Transcorp PSC. That 2 kobo is better than nothing because of the transformation we've seen. And I will continue to tell you, I don't need to mince words. I am a minority, I don't have 30 million. I didn't borrow money at all. So I cannot be a majority. I'm a minority as of today. I have something you can tap with. I believe in crime prevention. I read criminal justice from Chicago State University. And I was the best senator for fall 2017 on the SGA. I represent international students. I believe in crime prevention. And I served the military for 35 years. We should not, when we believe in you, also believe in us. Life, everything is reciprocal. Give and take. I respect you, Tony. I'm not yet you, and I cannot be you. The God that created every woman, look at your finger. Are they equal? Why do I need to envy you? But you can make me. Nothing is impossible. God will continue to bless you till the end of time. Because you are already blessed more than Abraham, but he will continue to bless you till the end of time. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. We'll meet here again next year. Thank you.
Good morning, our chairman, our board of directors, our respective colleague shareholders. First of all, my name is Kabir Abdullahi Tambari. I'm one of the shareholders from Sokoto. Although I don't have much shares, but I have 4 million shares. Today, with my 4 million shares, I know I will end with 72,000 naira. After withholding tax of 8,000, so I will end with 72,000 naira. The registrars is there. I really appreciate. Mr. Tony Elumelu, what I want to start with it as a shareholder, as a friend for you for a decade. First of all, I would like the shareholders to stand up for happy birthday to Chief Tony Elumelu, CON. Last year, no, sir, allow me. It's okay. But last month, I sent my happy birthday to you on 23rd of April at United Capital AGM. March, sorry. I send my message through Emmanuel Unorom. When I speak, I send my birthday to you, and still happy birthday to you. First of all, I would like to commend you. The smiling you are always doing is touching the groups and the companies where we have shares. If you look at Tony, it's difficult to see Tony is not smiling. Even now I'm speaking, he smiled. And the smile is still touching us. So Tony, you have to thank God when you leave UBA as Group Managing Director. God has blessed us, not only you. Why I say it, Mama is a business mogul, and now she is 90-something. And now when you leave UBA, God has blessed you, you get the opportunity, you spray your energy to the wall. If you are as GMD, you can continue doing that because you don't have the opportunity. If you look at UBA, they pay final dividend of 80 kobo plus interim dividend making 1 naira. If you look at United Capital, they pay dividend of 1 naira 50 kobo. If you look at Africa Prudential, they pay 50 kobo. If you look at Transcorp today, they are going to pay 2 kobo tomorrow, God willing. So all this is a capital appreciation. We are not only investing because of shares or dividend. We get capital appreciation plus dividend. Partially, sometimes we get bonus. So all these companies, some companies now, they are still limited liability company. But as how my brother said, you say we no need of repeating what somebody said. We have to say it, Mr. Tony Elumelu, because we really appreciate it. If you look at the shares of Africa Prudential, you see it at 6 naira plus. If you see UBA, you see it gambling 7 8 naira. If you look at United Capital, you see it 12 to 13 naira. If you look at Transcorp, you see it 1 naira plus 1 or whatever. So all these things, Mr. Tony Elumelu, we really appreciate you. And we shareholders, if somebody is not doing the right thing, we have to say it. So I pray God Almighty Allah to give you good health, long life, and prosperity. As how Mama, it is about 200 years now, I pray for you to be longer. I don't want to take much of your time. I want to commend the groups, all the companies, the power, energy, and whatever, the Transcorp, and also to commend you. We have 4 female in the board of Transcorp. Our friend, former MD of United Capital, Pastor Sani, our able company secretary, Kopo, our MD, and also, Vice Chairman. I know what she is doing since UBA, so I commend you for that. And I hope the temple will continue. I also commend our company secretariat. The lady is humble. When you come here, she is moving up and down with her team. When I come here after 8, but I meet them, I meet the staff, I meet the yellow, my friend, they are always here. When we come, there is some high seat here. But yellow said they have to push it back because of the Saturdays the chairman should see regulatories. So all these things, if you haven't organized your staff, they won't do that. If they haven't get your support, sir, they can succeed. So I hope, God willing, by next year, Transcorp will do more and more. Our young MD also, I would like to commend you also. What man can do, woman can do more. I also commend you for Tony Elumelu Foundation, what you are doing all over the countries and the world. I pray God Almighty to continue giving you strength, to continue doing it. Some they are riches like you, some they are rich like you, sir, but they can't spray. But much is given, much is expected. Don't shut down, don't shock. Whatever you give, that's what you are going to reap, sir. Whatever you do, that's what you are going to reap. When the time comes, you can't go with single kobo, but continue helping people. It's God that is continue helping you. I pray God Almighty to return us to our various destinations safely. Thank you.
The chairman of Transcorp PLC, the boss of directors, the regulators here present, my esteemed shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, I say good morning to you all. Mr. Chairman, I'm very much delighted to be here this morning to witness this AGM. I decided to put on this my clothes to match the color of Transcorp. You can see in fact, look at the women beside you, the same color in their body. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, it's very important. Men too, you can see. So I took on this color today because it depicts a golden company, a company of excellence, and a company that is touching lives in Nigeria. Please let's give a round of applause today. Mr. Chairman, it is not enough to commend you because you have really set a lot of pace for us to follow. My prayer is always that God will continue to strengthen you and to give you the ability to do more to Nigeria, more to Africa, and more to the world. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the outgoing directors on page 44. We have the Mr. Ozibo, who left the board, and Mrs. Ibekwe, who left also. And to welcome Malan Sabo, Mr. Famuyibo, and Mr. Oliver. I pray that your coming on board will add value to the board. Mr. Chairman, on page 153 is the dividend that you are giving to us. I remember that the two shareholders, the three who spoke before, said they are contented with 2 kobo. I am not contented. Because why? We have an earning per share of 34 kobo. And I believe it's a challenge we throw back to you. That let us try and raise our hands more on dividend payment. Reason because it is the key factor for capital appreciation in the stock market. And if you don't do that, you will find out that you'll be playing below par among your rival. So we need to push up a little bit in our dividend policy so that will also reflect in the capital appreciation. On page 9, I want to commend Transcorp Hotel. Mr. Chairman, I have said last year that leadership is not by size. To us, Dupe is a blessing, a great blessing, and a wonderful blessing to us, Mr. Chairman. She's really doing marvelous work, and I'm very much sure, I don't know how many years she was able to learn from Owe. But it's a great work that she's doing. We only pray that we will continue to achieve more better results for the year to come. On that page 9, Mr. Chairman, you will see that they have emerged as the best outstanding hotel and hospitality during the Nigerian at 60 Jubilee Award. It also emerged as the Nigerian best diversity, equity, and inclusive compliant company in Nigeria. What a great feat. Mr. Chairman, on page 40 is the central issue of gas supply. Gas supply is pivotal to electricity generation. And you said that we are equally pursuing a long-term integrated energy strategy to secure gas requirements through the OPL 281 assets. My question to you, sir, is what is the realistic time frame are we looking at? Because without gas, we cannot effectively achieve the desired power generation. On page 50 is the issue of the Transcorp Hotel, Calabar. We thank God for the wonderful thing going on there. And we hope to ask you, when are you going to complete the upgrade work that is going on at Transcorp Calabar so that they will continue to deliver profitability? On Transcorp Abuja is the question of knowing how the extent of work is going on the event center. Mr. Chairman, you told us that there's a world-class event center you are building. So we want to know how far and the lifestyle. The same page 60, Mr. Chairman, is my question on diversification of customer base. How hopeful are we to exploit opportunities created by the Eligible Customer Regime Initiative by the federal government to allow the sale of power directly to certain user and end user to leverage on our membership of West African power plants. So that diversification is very essential, and we look forward to seeing you giving us answer. Mr. Chairman, on page 81, you will find out that most companies in Nigeria pay penalty, pay fine. But here we are, from the former company secretary to now, we have not been paying fine. The reason is that fine comes as a result of regulatory issue, and fine comes as a result of non-compliance with governance issue. But this wonderful lady you pick from Igodalo, look at her, Mr. Chairman, from Igodalo. She makes sure that governance is held to the upstep so that we don't pay penalty. Please, let's give a round of applause to her. Mr. Chairman, on page 138 is the desire for us as shareholder to look back into the MOU that is signed with Transcorp 16th. The need for them to address the management fee of 1.5 based on revenue. And I said it that most companies that I've looked at, management fee is based on profit after tax, which makes them part and parcel of the company. But for them to say, no, pay us on the top line and we go, who bear the pain? So they must also share in our pain. Talking about OPL 281, Mr. Chairman, I read something last week, and I call it, and I title it, The Lamentation of Mr. Tony Elumelu. Publicly, for the first time, you decided to speak up about oil theft. And that has not helped Nigeria, and we are in the oil industry. Why are we suffering in the midst of plenty? Mr. Chairman, crude oil production, over 90% is gone by theft. That means government have failed to provide security for safety of oil. We also have to question how they are utilizing our tax, because the tax is meant for them to be able to secure us. So we are going to OPL 281, we should start talking so that our oil production will not be stolen. And it is a very serious fact, Mr. Chairman. I would like you, Mr. Chairman, to talk about frequent grid collapse. Frequent grid collapse. Today, you hardly can get light for 2 hours in Nigeria. So when the two speakers are saying their experience here that they hardly take light, and when they take light, it's like a flash. I was asking my colleague, please, how much is accommodation per year here? Probably maybe I have to move in here to secure myself. Because we can't have light for 2 hours. What are the reasons? They will tell you that there is poor gas supply, 40 generating units, drop scheduled and unscheduled maintenance, low level of water, and so on like that. Mr. Chairman, in your own view, I put this question to you now. How do we address this issue of national grid collapse? On a final note, Mr. Chairman, is page 126, page 125, 126, and I will combine it with page 136. That is on foreign exchange fluctuation and the effect of loans and borrowing, particularly dollar-denominated loans. Mr. Chairman, it has had much effect. and look at page 136, you'll see the effect. From 1.8 billion or thereabout to over 3 billion in terms of fluctuation. So my question is, how do we hedge to ensure that this area be controlled? Yes, we know the continuous fluctuation of the naira, of dollar to naira, but it will be in our own interest that some of these loans be converted to naira denominated rather than dollar denominated, because they are really giving us so much problems. And I said on a final note, why? Because it is best interest for us to tell you that under the leadership of Mrs. Owen Diana, she is doing extremely very well. Extremely very well. Please, let's give a round of applause to her. And I'm putting it to her that next year, don't pay us 2 kobo. Don't pay us 2 kobo. Chairman knows we should start paying naira. I am not like Dr. Farouk with 30 million. I don't have money. 30 million units. So pay us something that will enable us to pay the school fees of our children. We thank the staff. We thank you, and God bless everyone.
Thank you. So members who are here to speak, please, a long day, so let's try, please. It's a long day. We'll have a lot of resolutions to take today. Thank you.
Well, Chairman, members of the board of Transcorp, my fellow shareholders, I am Goodluck Akpore. Today, I'm indeed very, very happy. 1, to be here. 2, to see that the people, because I always refer back to when the whole thing started. Because some of us that are associated with the Tonys, UBA, I know when we fought here in this hall. 5 days. It was terrible. Tony, I remember from the middle of the meeting, light went off. I left my seat and I sat with the computer. You cannot change anything that is in the computer. It was terrible. Farouk was there. It was hell. But today I'm jubilating. I'm happy because the people that came in, they are doing wonderfully well. Wonderfully well. Somebody was talking of coming here to stay. I can never see my feet in any hotel apart from here. You can't see my feet. Every week I am here because of the government work. I am here every week. Ask them. And this Dupe, some people will be talking of Dupe, hold that lady very well. She's fantastic. And Tony, I must tell you this. How I asked the question the last time we had a meeting. How did you get these champions? People that are so committed that you are working with. I think it's God that is doing it. It's wonderful. Keep them. Look at Norun. Fantastic man. The lady that is coming again is this your secretary. Is coming. You know, I talk, I see the physical, I see the spiritual. So I'm not just talking because I want to talk. I see the physical and I see the spiritual. So when I'm talking, you got to write it down properly. So, Tony, I want to really thank you. I really, really want to thank you. I was at Ugele when they had a program. This one you see here, too, wonderful. The community, that's why I'm married. My wife is from the place. You need to see how they talk about him. You need to see how they talk about your company at Ugele. I was surprised. The kings all over that place, they were all there. This man, how he was able to do it, I said, no, I will have opportunity and I will tell you face to face. This man, who is that person? All of them that you see now that are not working well. So they are making us proud, really making us proud. And God will continue to guide and protect you all. So Tony, though you said we shouldn't say what somebody has said, but
What we now have, what are you going to see here now? Good things. Good things. So our own, me as a bishop, is to pray for you. Is to pray for you. Company secretary, Unoru. Oh, our brother there. Come on. You see, God will be with you, my dear. I'm now a shareholder in power, in oil and gas, oh my God. But do you know what we saw? We saw something. There are some of these companies, they sold to themselves, sold to company secretaries, sold to this one. They are selling now, they are fighting. But while they are fighting, we are enjoying here all the work of Tony. You see, why we should say this thing is to help this country, is to help other companies coming up, so that they can take you from what you have done. That it is better for shareholders to be in compromise, to be in agreement with the board. It pays. Some of these ones, they will just go around, say to their friends, say, okay, sell now. Go and sell whether you do anything with the money. People will go around and say, you cannot succeed with it, since you are playing game with it. But here you are. The whole up is open for you. Nigeria is open for you. The dark is open for you. The light is open for you. People may not understand what I'm talking about, but I'm talking language. And I hope you understand. So today is a thing of joy to be here and to see the nice people that are working very well. Shareholder, we are lucky. Very lucky indeed. Very, very lucky indeed that we are part of this Tony family. To develop 54 countries, transforming 54 countries, Africa countries, at a blow, is that a small thing? It's not a small joke. So, Tony, is a thing God will surely stand by you. Amen. So that you complete. Somebody was saying, you are older than, I don't think you are older than, you have just started. This is the beginning of your life. Amen. Some of us, you see, may be a little far. You may not know that we are close. Because my eyes must go round as a consecrated bishop. And I can assure you, God Almighty is standing by you and your family. May God bless us.
All protocol duly observed. My name is Mrs. B.C. Bakari. First and foremost, I want to use this opportunity to thank the board for the opportunity given to me to be part of today's meeting. Having said that, I will go straight to page 5 of the annual report and account, where we have results at a glance. I'm going to talk on total operating expenses. I'm surprised that despite the increase in our revenue, gross profit, PPT, and PAT, our total operating expenses grew by just 7%. This is wonderful. This shows that this board and management are prudent board. Also, the 48% growth in our revenue was driven by impressive performance in our power business, consolidation of Transcorp Power Limited, and over 100% growth in our hospitality business revenue. This is wonderful. No, it's not only Dupe. I'm talking of Mr. Christopher, the two gentlemen beside me, Madam Dupe and the other guy. I think we should give them a very sound round of applause. Thirdly, Mr. Chairman, I'm boldly, as a shareholder, I want to say, as an investor and shareholder of our company, that Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC is one of the leading diversified conglomerates in this country today. Please, a round of applause to Transcorp as well. Page 43. That is Transcorp Power Limited. Mr. Chairman, we have the issue of legacy debt, Hold Transcorp Power Limited. I want to ask, what has been the outcome of your engagement with Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trading Company and federal government in resolving this issue? I want to know. Page 44. Transcorp OPL 281. Mr. Chairman, I want to also ask that how do you hope to fast-track a production of oil in fourth quarter of 2023? Page 50. I want to commend our company for launch of Aura platform, which has provided seamless lodgement of guests. This has also, I also noted that you provided corporate customer optional accident insurance cover, and this will also encourage more customers to patronize our hotel. Page 51. Yeah, I want to congratulate our company for the award we received during the year. We received several awards, but the one that really amazed me is the award at the group level. That is our company was recognized by the World Quality Alliance Group as the World Class Energy Power Brand of the year 2021. Please, let's appreciate them, please, with a sound of page 95. Page 95. I'm going to talk on our trade and other payables, Mr. Chairman. I noticed that our trade and other payables moved from 80.2 billion to 135.1 billion. I want the board to look at this. We should do something about it. Page 136. Page 136. 136. Mr. Tony Elumelu, the prayer all shareholders has been praying for you since morning. I know God Almighty has taken it to the heaven. Reason is that, looking at this page, we've attended several AGM this year. This is the only company I can see that employee increased by over 400. From 958 to 1,374. When other companies are asking their employee to go, we employ more. My prayer for you, like my elders have said, that God Almighty will continue to strengthen you. And God Almighty will give you long life and good health to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Lastly, page 138. That is the OPES. Mr. Chairman, I'm not comfortable with our bank charges. I want the executive management to look very well at our bank charges. Our bank charges for 2020 was 241.4. This year it has moved to 876. I want the management to look at the bank reconciliation very well. The same thing on our professional fees, Mr. Chairman. Professional fees. I'm not happy at all, Mr. Chairman, and I need some explanation on this, Mr. Chairman. Our professional fees moved from 398.981 to 1.236 billion. I think we need explanation on this as well. Then lastly, that is a bad debt written off. Our bad debt for 2020 was 46.6 million. This has moved to 861.52 for this year. Mr. Chairman, I think we need to look at the current trade receivables so that it will not turn to bad debt in few years to come. Once again, thank you for the opportunity given to me, and God bless you all.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Can you please permit me to sit? My name is Mrs. E.O. Obide, the National Coordinator of Act of God Shareholder Association Incorporated. I thank the board very, very much for inviting me for the AGM, and I make it possible. Today, I should have not been here because I have a baby girl. But yesterday, I was invited, I couldn't come. But because to whom honor is being given to, I have to come this morning. Thank you very much. Page 14. That page is very, very amazing. When you see the page, the female on the board, I really appreciate, although it's 33%, but from other shareholders that are not present, I extend their greeting to and looking at their names, in fact, speak after them. OM, shining, sunshine, or bright star. And they are bright. When you see Oluwatoyin, I don't have to call her a name, but here I have to call her a name. Oluwatoyin, it means a lot. Modupe, when one is thanking God, and we are thanking God in Transcorp today because of the name and the Kofoworola. I'm not using money to buy weight. Now we are happy. In your setup, your group, some were not able to pay dividend, but we collected 2 kobo. There is no kobo in the country. I want this board, most especially female. I'm not saying the men are not trying, because Mr. Onram, I know him for a very long time. The man is very, very intelligent. Please, let's clap for him. He's very, very intelligent. Somebody that can teach you and you have that brain. I have known him for I was even small, over 40-something years ago. Sir? You say what? Mr. Onram. Don't worry, he knows where we met.
Is it Mayo or Pi? Is it called Mayo or Pi? You're an accountant.
Don't worry about where we know each other. Sir, page 24. I use this opportunity to thank and pray for the management. God will give them the wisdom and knowledge to steer this company to a greater height.
Thank you.
Page. I want to reduce my speech, but I have to touch.
Madam, can you just one more comment? Let's make progress.
Okay. You, in your statement a few days before your birthday, you said you touch some areas and you are doing it. We really appreciate. In this annual report, you really welcome disabled. But there was no disabled, but you really make sure that if we have for a person, a disabled in a company, a staff in a company goes and up 10 pupils in the family. And for you to make mention, we don't have, but you make mention of it, God will help you. You have tried in this country. I listened to your brief 3 or 4 days before your birthday. And it's even showing in this our annual report. Let me just make a conclusion on Transcorp to round it up. I pray that during this, God Almighty, the reigns and Almighty will grant the Transcorp group. And years to come, we will move from kobo, as usual, to naira. And I believe this name that I mentioned, another name, because it's very, very important. Names is very important in one's life. It follows you. Modupe, Kofoworola, Owem, it's a great name. Oluwatoyin, Oluwafolake. In fact,
what of Tony now? What of Tony? What of Tony?
Tony is a big name. It's a lion. I make mention of it. Sorry, the men on the board for not, but those names I have searched for the meaning. So that's why I'm pronouncing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Last comment.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, other board members here present, regulatory authorities here present, and those participating virtually, my fellow distinguished shareholders here present, and those participating virtually, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barrister Adetutu Shinyombola. I'm the president of Highly Favored Shareholders Association. I have some observations, comments, questions, and suggestions on the Transcorp 2021 annual report. Mr. Chairman, with your kind permission, I will quickly run through them. Though results at a glance has been dealt with previous speakers, I will skip that. I will move to page 14, the beautiful faces of the board of directors. I observe that we have just 3 ladies as directors out of 9, which amounts to the 3%. This is unacceptable, sir, on gender balancing. We have to improve on it going forward. And I have a word for the ladies in the board. Please, put in your very best to keep the flag flying. I pray to God Almighty to crown your efforts with success in Jesus' name.
Amen.
From page 30 to 34, the beautiful faces and profile of the executive management team. I also observe that we have 5 ladies in the management team out of 8, which amount to 62.5%. This is commendable, Mr. Chairman. I am highly impressed. Please keep it up. And I have a word for the ladies in the management team as well. Please don't let us down. The Almighty God will be with you in Jesus' name. Amen. When I marry, page 44, board changes in chairman's statements with item 2.2 on page 71, membership and changes on the board. I observe that we have 2 exits from our board and 3 new appointments of independent non-executive directors in the year under review. They are as follows: Mr. Valentine Osigbo and Ms. Obi Ibekwe retired from our board on the 27th of April 2021 and 30th of October 2021 respectively. I want to seize this opportunity to thank them for their meritorious services to our company and wish them the very best in their present and future endeavors. I also observe that Malam Amadu Sambo and Mr. Victor Famuibo joined the board on the 22nd of April 2021, while Mr. Oliver Andrews joined our board on the 3rd of August 2021. I want to seize this opportunity to welcome them to our board and to wish them a fruitful tenure in office. On page 51, that one has been dealt with, that talks about awards and recognition in present stroke Group CEO's report. I want to skip that as well. From page 72 to 75, attendance at board meetings and board committee meetings is good, but can be better. On page 79, item 5, directors' shareholding and other interests. I observed that only 5 directors out of 9 listed have our shares attached to their names directly or indirectly in the year under review. Why? On page 91 and 92, consolidated and separate statements of financial position. I just want to limit myself to the group financial position. Trade and other receivables has been spoken about by previous speaker. Let me skip that one. Borrowings under non-current liabilities went up from 92.2 billion naira to 103.3 billion naira in the year under review. How do we intend to pay back this loan? Trade and other payables under current liabilities also went up from 74.8 billion naira to 80.2 billion naira in the year under review. How do we intend to pay this debt to our creditors? Finally, I want to talk on page 138, printing, that talks about administrative expenses. I want to limit myself to group expenses there. Printing and stationery is the one that caught my attention, and I noticed that it went up astronomically from 9.5 million naira to 42.2 million naira in the year under review. This is huge when other companies are going paperless. Then, I also have on page 81, and finally, item 19, fines and penalty. That one has been spoken about too by previous speaker. Thank you, and God bless you real good, Mr. Chairman, for this opportunity. Thank you.
We had finished, but let members please indulge me to recognize or give a shareholder, a famous shareholder who just walked in not long ago. But you speak, sir, just 30 seconds. But it's good to see you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Hamza Ridwan. I will try to stick within the time limit, but then I need to call our attention to the fact that there is need for an addendum to what Bishop Akpore and Efunyemi Obideyi said. The addendum is that Bishop was saying Nigeria is open to you, Africa is open to you, forgetting the fact that, Bishop talked to the fact that Nigeria is open to you in terms of investment, Africa is open to you, forgetting the fact that it is not an easy feat, Mr. Chairman, for the likes of Boris Johnson to be rushing to take pictures with just an African. I'm not talking about Helen Grant that was also clinging on the other side, or the other members of parliament that were taking turns to take picture with our own Tony Elumelu, the lion that has just been uncaged, as it is written on my shirt. Mr. Chairman, having said that, I will also want to remind them that, let me talk to Obideyi. Tony is highly praiseworthy, according to the Bible, and Emmanuel is God with us. I don't know how she wants us to have this kind of people. She had mentioned Koforola, Owen, Oluwatoyin, and the rest of them, and we will not progress. Mr. Chairman, this is not possible. Before we took over in Transcorp, or at Hilton, Transcorp, better still, Mr. Chairman, all these businesses were making loss after loss. But when it came to private, Mr. Chairman, before you came, Everybody that knows the history of Transcorp knows that I, Hamza Ridwan, has a very strong history with Transcorp. And it's on that note that I want to challenge you to bring to this hall or to the next AGM, Mr. Chairman, Madam Professor Undi Okereke Onyuke. Let her come and see what we have been able to do with what she left. For years, we couldn't hold AGM. But since you came, when we go to Calabar that day, ask them, they know. But since you came, Mr. Chairman, this thing comes in, year out, and everything has been smooth. Dividend year in, dividend comes in, it is consistent. Please, I don't know what people want to, Mr. Chairman. I haven't said that, Mr. Chairman. Let me just touch on page 138. Somebody talked about us having increased bank charges. But Mr. Chairman, I can see here that we wrote off a whopping 861 million naira in bad debt. Couldn't we have, our debt recovery team, couldn't they have done better than this? I must also commend the fact that our expenses on medicals has dropped. In fact, it plunged. It did not drop, it plunged. Just as it is that our corporate social responsibility increased. Mr. Chairman, this is an era where we are just coming out of COVID. You cannot be doing all this and the Belgian people will not want to honor you with the highest honor in their land. Mr. Chairman, it is, see, you are laughing and this thing is paining me. Mr. Chairman, Haiti the other day is just beside America there. Their president had to come here to come and call you. It's not an easy feat. I talked about Boris Johnson and his people taking turns to take pictures with you. Was there not a time that a president was going from Nigeria to UK and the Prime Minister of UK was talking about fantastically corrupt countries? Their president is coming and he doesn't want to meet the president. But this is the same country where an ordinary citizen is being recognized in the world over. Mukhtar is not here. He would have said Lion of Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean, and I told him it is Lion of the world. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Hamza Ridwan.
I wish we had time. We have a very brilliant shareholders, and it's quite good. All of you who spoke approach it from very interesting, different perspectives. In fact, I think we are blessed as a company, as a group, to have you eminent shareholders. So, a lot has been said. The board and executive management, the group CEO, will note all of the points, and then we take them back and start, it's always work in progress, and start preparing for the next report. What we do in corporate Nigeria is very good, and it's the kind of thing some of us have advocated we should do at national level for leadership of organizations to know that there comes a time, one day, like this, where you become totally accountable to the owners of business. In nation, you become totally accountable to the populace. That mentality, knowing that we have to prepare to face shareholders, puts everyone on his own toes, and on its own helps to engender better governance. So we need to export this to other aspects of our national life. You spoke about, we put it, while the advice and comments were going on, you see Owen and I were swapping messages, messages, noting things. So it tells you the significance of your comments to us. She would address some, and I would take just some also. I note the kind words and appreciation by our shareholders for what we have done, both at Transcorp and other business endeavors that we have interest in. And such encouragements or appreciation encourage us to do more. To us, when we did what we did in 2012, the divestment of some of the companies from the group, we didn't think it deserved this level of appreciation and commendation. We thought we were doing just basic professional and ethical and transparent thing at the time to share the company in pari passu with each person's shareholding in the company that we're divesting. And yes, we, in the process, created some of the PLCs today that we have. United Capital remains one of our flagship businesses, and I believe every shareholder is appreciative of what is happening in that domain. Tony, at some point, was a group CEO of United Capital. Africa Prudential, the only listed registered business in the country, doing well. Afriland, which also, the result will come soon, I believe will also, well, I'm sure you also see what they do. Which other company, APR? Then, of course, today we're here, Transcorp. And the same spirit, the same philosophy guides everything we do to make sure that we're ethical, we're professional, and we do things that can stand the test of time. So I'm encouraged by your words of appreciation, and we will continue to do more along these lines. The second point is, I note I wrote here that wealth creation is in our DNA. You know, you talked, High Chief Okelana, you talked about your investment in UBA, when you made it and what has happened to date. We want to assure, and Dr. Farouk spoke about his investment in increasing his investment in spite of the current small dividends that you earn. I want to tell you, assure you and other shareholders that it's a move in the right direction, because we have a track record of creating significant wealth for shareholders. You know, and we will do so. The issue is Transcorp, as Hamza said, has been through quite a bit, and we just decided there are two things. Either you just bake the cake now, share everything, or you share a little and reinvest so that in the future it gets bigger. If you look at the result we read out, power was a new business. Today contributing over 70% of our revenue. So if we were myopic and short-sighted, we would not have made the investment in power, because for every investment you make, it has its short to medium-term toll on your cash flow, on your profitability, and so many things. But if you wait it through that first few years, the future becomes rosy. Transcorp Hilton Hotel today, occupancy has surged, and I don't know if any other Hilton has the level of occupancy, especially at a time like this. We have almost 100%, 90%, 80% occupancy. It's turned around recently, but there's a reason for this. At some point a few years ago, we decided to invest over $130 million to upgrade this property. And so what we're seeing today is customers responding rationally to a property that has been upgraded, that's like home away from home, and where they can spoil you a bit. So that is what we do in our group. We look beyond today. We take strategic long-term viewpoint. We have oil asset, for instance. We could decide the oil asset to sell it and just share profit to shareholders. But we can also decide, as we have decided to do, to go long term, spend a few more years, do all the things Peter Ikenga, Owen, and others are doing, and in 3 years, we're looking ambitiously on 2023 Q4, but let's even assume 2024, things will begin to change. We will begin to use the gas there for power and other things. So you're investing in a company of the future, not today's company per se, but a company of the future. The Transcorp Hotel PLC, we are here today, but we have massive plot of land in Port Harcourt bought owned by this hotel for development. In Lagos, the same thing, which the CEO will speak to soon. So we are long-term in orientation, and we know that the future will be good. So I just thought I wanted to reassure you that you've made the right decision by investing in Transcorp. And I am investing continuously in Transcorp shares. I tell my children every time they get dividend, I just say, by ENN is here. What did I tell you about a week or two ago? What did I tell you?
To buy more shares for them in Transcorp, the children, the family members.
They have some dividend they got, and I said, what should I say? Buy Transcorp shares for them, more Transcorp shares for them, because I know the future. No, it's not insider trading. It's not. You don't buy within the period that is specified. We are professional, and we do the right things. Okay. The second thing I want to speak to is, as we commend the hotel, what we do have people who support Dugbe Olushola in making Transcorp Hotel succeed the way it's succeeding. And I would like to call 4 of them up, and I would like them to, the shareholders to help recognize them. Mrs. Ifoma Okafobi, is she here with us? She's virtual, okay. So Ifoma is running Aura by Transcorp. Again, one of those things we do. In the short term, people think it's crazy, but in the long term, they pay off. When we took over a distressed bank in 1997, we took over a distressed bank. People thought we were crazy. Today, that distressed bank has grown to become what it is today. Similarly, some of the things we do, like the Transcorp by Aura by Transcorp, it's a matter of time, because we think through things carefully. And when we do them, they turn out very good. So Ifoma is the leader, the GM or CEO of the Transcorp by Aura. She reports to Dugbe. And then we have Chris Odor. I saw Chris Odor is they know you already. And they talked about the refurbishment of Transcorp Hotel Calabar. If we had time, we would ask you to tell members when it will be ready, but Owen would address that. So Chris Odor, you're welcome. Is the CEO of Transcorp Hotel Calabar. Now we have men who help make things happen also further, operationally at least. We have Kevin Brett, who is here with us. Kevin, please stand up. Kevin, well attired, is the CEO, or is the GM of this property, the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. But unfortunately, Kevin is going to be leaving us soon. Not leaving as a resign from the Hilton family, but going to another property. So this is going to be Kevin's, I believe, last AGM with us. Kevin, on behalf of the owners of Transcorp Hotel, PLC, that owns the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, I want to say thank you for what you've done for this property. We will miss you, but we know that the likes of Islam and others are here to continue to support what you started. So well done. Thank you. And finally, on this, I want to recognize Bulent Talan. Bulent is a man who is coming to fill into the big shoes, but we think his own feet are larger, or even not larger, to stretch the shoes, And Bulent, we are happy to have you. He's the incoming GM who's going to take over from Kevin. We're happy to have you and look forward to you working with Dubai and team to take this hotel to greater heights. We're quite ambitious. In fact, just this morning walking to this place, I was telling Omosefe, I said, Omosefe, we need to do 100 rooms immediately in this hotel because the expansion we're having is, the expansion we're seeing here is beyond imagination, and we're grateful for what each and every one of you has done. Thank you. Please sit down. I think I will let, yeah, you did, you asked me to comment on oil self-time, I think I've expressed viewpoint. Let's not, it's on a rough ride, but I must commend our government so far. They responded appropriately. In fact, a lot of people called me and said, these people hijack your handle. Was it you that said that? I said, yes, but because people were shocked, because usually I don't talk in this manner. But yes, it was a tough thing. However, the way our government responded is quite impressive. I believe you all know that the next day or two, the Chief of Defense Staff, the GMD of NNPC, the Petroleum Minister, they all moved to Port Harcourt. And ever since then, I know for a fact, we're even involved, that at least motion is going on, and hopefully it will lead to movement soon. So I commend Nigerians for showing interest in this public comment that we made. The national grid collapse, you said I should speak on that. I think, as I said in my chairman's statement, all of us need to realize the strategic relevance of power to our existence as people and to our national development, to our economic transformation. We can't make progress without power. It's like human being cannot live without blood. We are also talking and hoping that more attention will be paid to this issue of national grid, because government has done well in the area of privatization of power, generation, disco, but we need to fix the transmission lines in NACO so that what is being generated can get to the last mile. We all do have capacity to do more. Transcorp Group has capacity for 2,000 megawatts, but we are not, if you're being owed about 70 billion naira, and also if you cannot even produce optimally, there is less incentive for you to even do more, want to invest more to make the 2,000 capacity come to reality. So it's a major issue, and we believe government with the critical stakeholders will do the right thing soon to help the country. Something is being done, but we need more so that we can see more light. The issues on the bank charges, etc., professional fees, let me help over here and just say that, I will talk about gender too. You know, where it's like a company in transformation. There's a lot going on. There are bonds you raise, like the Transcorp 16Th expansion, so many things, but management is handling very, very adequately and has also noted the issues raised. The issue of debt collection, I think they're also working hard on that. Someone raised the point about MOU with Transcorp 16th. Kevin and Bullet, they are here, they are listening, so that when Dubai engages, they will see where Dubai is coming from. It's coming from shareholder. In fact, it's as if the shareholders, they knew what has been, the conversation that has been on the table. Finally, from me, I want to appreciate the comment by Our Lady in Heart. Your name again? Barrister Adetutu, eh? Okay, yeah, you know. I like the gender twist, but it's also, you know, you looked at it from two angles. The board, you have 3 females. We had 4. It was 4 females, 5 males. One, you know, retired from the board late Q4 last year. And then, but on management, I think, as you said, we are oppressed. Men are oppressed. Men are oppressed. So men are oppressed in management. And he talked about director shares. I just wanted to say, because we have, I think it's also a record for Transcorp, we have more independent, non-executive directors than most companies. Either as a proportion, because we have a board of 9 and 4 are independent, non-executive directors. That is hallmark of sound corporate governance, what we're doing. So such members do not, that's why they're independent. They're not like shareholders per se. They can have insignificant share, but that's why they're independent. So it's a good thing for the company rather than a bad thing. Let me allow our group CEO to comment on other things. Thanks. But still a long day for that resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And it's right on time. Good afternoon, my distinguished shareholders and everyone. Chairman thank you for helping me to handle most of them. I will just pick up from where the chairman has dropped. I think let me start with that diversity question. My dear barrister, it's not just all about numbers. We don't do token appointments across our group. The fact that we have a group CEO that is female, and then my dear Dupe, transforming, look at our company secretary, our vice, I think we deserve a round of applause for the quality of the appointment, the role. And it will also interest you to note that our focus on this diversity and inclusion hasn't gone unnoticed. Transcorp Group, that's in Transcorp PLC, and Transcorp Hotels actually featured on the top 10 list of the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Hofstede Award. In fact, Transcorp Hotels came first on that list in Nigeria, and Transcorp Group were 6th on it, looking at the entire group. So it's something that we are pursuing very well. Calabar, Chris, you're welcome. So for our Transcorp Hotels Calabar, it's something that has come up over the years about what we are doing. Transcorp Hotels Calabar is very, very critical to our own strategy in the hospitality business of being an independent hotel brand. We want to be known as the company that is redefining hospitality standards. That's what Transcorp Hotels is. If you look at the wall over there, Transcorp Hotels redefining hospitality standards. Leveraging on the success that we saw following the renovation of this beautiful property we are in right now, the 670-room Transcorp Hilton Abuja, we decided to extend, let me not say fully same, because I'm not sure my board will answer me if we say we want to use $132 million to renovate Calabar. But we've commenced the renovation of that property. As at the end of Q1, we completed 50 rooms, both basic, ambassadorial, and presidential suites. 50. But we are approaching it in a very prudent format. The GM is here, he's been charged, maximize the returns on that asset. We've talked about borrowings and making sure that we keep our expenses and our borrowings under control. So the idea is to self-fund that project. And from the figures they've given, they're doing quite well, doing very well actually, in redefining and reimagining what hospitality should be like in Calabar. And remember, we are the only hotel in that region that actually has a loyalty scheme. I'm sure my dear Chief Okelana will be happy to hear that. There's a Transcorp Rewards. On our power business, power is critical to everything. We've talked about the legacy debt. As at today, we have, I think the report also says that, for our power business in Ughelli, we're owed about 60 billion, AFAM 5 billion, and we're engaging to see what can be done about those debts, because I think one of the things mentioned talked about the FX exposure and stuff like that. More of this would help to address those situations. But I should mention that there's been improvement. There's been improvement because we're seeing changes in the sector. And in 2021, it's good to give commendation where it's deserved, let's put it in that way. In 2021, we saw very significant improvements in the payment of our current liabilities. And if you look at the figures, you will see that is non-current that is higher as opposed to current liabilities, which is something that is highly commendable, and I think we should appreciate and clap for the government, for an MBET for doing so. But we continue to diversify. We are effectively leveraging our membership of the West African Power Pool, our Transcorp Power Limited, Ugeli, led by Chrisesia Fulukwe, continue to leverage that. For our AFAM investment, Transcorp Power Limited, they're also working to bring them into that pool as well. So we continue. Nigeria is blessed. We have what a number of our neighboring nations don't have, natural gas. And gas to power is critical. Yes, we know that all this renewable and but there's a lot of investment that has been made in the existing infrastructure of gas, steam, hydro that we have in our country today. We're not going to throw it away. We need power, and we need power to indeed achieve the economic and total transformation of our country. So we are working night and day, literally, to continue to look at our own customer database, leverage the opportunities that are there to diversify and take our power business to as much autonomy as possible, which will just take me to, I think is a logical sequence to segue into, our oil and gas strategy. We are driving a very strong integrated energy strategy. We have Transcorp OPL 281, led by my dear Peter Ikenga over there. Peter does not sleep because he continues to look at the work program obligation that we have on that asset to ensure that we do fulfill its obligation, and we can move into our strategy, which is to drill one of the wells this year and see this is a new technology that makes these things much, you can do things faster than you had done before. So roughly, we'll be looking at 2023, 2024 for our OPL 281 asset. For the liquid, gas a little longer, but we'll be running the strategies side by side. You would recall last year, OPL 281, one of the things we shared, I don't know if you remember, sack oil. Remember the sack oil issue? Very happy to inform you that in the course of the year, we did complete the settlement, the payment for sack oil. It's been fully paid off, and not just fully paid off. SAC Oil themselves, they acknowledged Transcorp's performance on meeting the settlement obligation. They acknowledged it on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange on the 9th of April this year. Now, this is something we should all be proud of. Sure. It's something we should all be proud of, because there we are, our company. It's a Nigerian located company, but now we're going worldwide. I mean, Aura platform is going to take... We've settled that. We're going global. We've settled it. Our name is out there. And I note South Africa. So their transnational corporation is being celebrated. We went to the negotiation. We've paid it off. They've acknowledged us. They've written us. And they've also put it on the stock exchange. We're glad. And it shows as well the strength of our corporate governance that we have within Transcorp Group.
Fantastic.
I'm happy to... Domosa. I'm happy to hear about the trust and confidence in the company. You may recall last year when I spoke about the vision and how we are building to last, building for future generations. And my children's children's children, just like your children's children's children, would be able to inherit what we are doing today, and by God's grace, build upon it and take it even further. For the future of this year, our strategy remains to continue to consolidate and expand. Consolidate because if you look at our assets, we've invested huge, significant sums of money. I will commend the hotel under Dupe's leadership, and we'll get you more rooms, Dupe. Under Dupe's leadership, the way we have optimized our Abuja property, there's a strong focus on Transcorp Hotels Calabar as well, so that when you look at next year, you're flipping through the books, you can see the contribution. Aura, the chairman has spoken so much about Aura. It's really going to transform the way we see hospitality. And hospitality in this case, I'm not talking hotel rooms. I'm talking the entire industry. Restaurants, experiences, chilling, and of course, our hotels. Hospitality is key to anybody. When you're going anywhere, you ask yourself, how am I going to be received? And through our digital platform, Aura by Transcorp Hotels, we will be redefining what hospitality means across nations. And I ask you to stay informed, keep informed, read our newsletters as we send it, and monitor. We're always available. Send us questions, we would respond. Give us your suggestions, we're there. Power. Today I'm here as the President Group CEO, but I think it would be remiss of me not to appreciate and thank my board for their vision years ago to diversify into the power business. And my predecessors before me, because I am stepping on the foundation that they laid, and that's what we're growing upon, all of us today, all the 5 CEOs across Transcorp. Our power business, we will continue to recover the installed capacity that we have. We had, the COVID pandemic continues to disrupt. By now, GT16 of Transcorp Power really should have come on in March. But there was a force majeure declared in India in one of the plants, so we had to quickly pivot, as that's what we do. The chairman said that wealth creation is in our DNA. But by the end of April, GT16 will be back on. And by May 1st, we will add an additional 105 megawatts to the national grid by the 1st of May. And we continue to do other recovery. Last week, I was in Dubai. Despite being on holiday, I made sure I visited one of the sites. I was only there for 4 days. Visited one of the sites where we are working on our turbines. And I'm happy, I was so pleased to see the boxes. I've not sent the pictures to chairman yet. The boxes of our gears, the rotors that had been rehabilitated. It just lets you know the possibility of what's going on. So coming up again, how we're going to bring those and put back on the, because we all need power. AFAM, led by Vincent. Vincent, please wave. Yeah, the handsome man indeed. Engineer Vincent Ozode. Within the next few weeks, our turbine there, GT20, will come up, and that will bring an additional 138 megawatts to the national grid. So within the next 4 or 5 weeks, from the stables of Transcorp Group, we would have 243 megawatts of power added to the national grid beyond what we are seeing today. These are things that we should be very proud of as investors and people who are passionate about Nigeria. And we should also talk about our communities that we operate within. September last year, you would recall that by March 10th last year is when we did the administrative takeover of AFAM. By September, to delight the shareholders to know and other stakeholders that we signed the MOU with the Okoloma AFAM community within 6 months in Rivers State. And we are operating on that. If you go through the annual report, you will see pictures of our engagement with community. It's not only your in-laws place that we do well and do good. It's part of our DNA in Abuja, and the entire group is what we do. We do well and we do good. So for us in Transcorp, we will continue to build to last. We will continue to build to last, and we ask for your continued support. You're wonderful. I know messages that I get from the various shareholders, just sending messages when our results are out. You send something, you ask, oh, have you considered this? Have you considered? Sometimes people go to our hotel and say, oh, I noticed this, please change it. I noticed this, please change it. And to also thank those who have come to the power plants. It was, Bishop, when you went, the people said, wow, they were so excited. They were excited that one of the shareholders came. So we appreciate you. Looking into the future, we will continue to grow. We will continue to deliver on our intent. We want to improve lives. We want to transform the society. We will continue to build a company that we can all be collectively proud of. We will continue to explore and deliver on the vision for Transcorp. We'll explore opportunities and see where there's value to be created that would have a monumental impact on the lives of not just of those of us in this room, but the wider society. So thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished shareholders. The good thing is there's lunch after this. So, but we'll move back pretty quickly now. The questions, the answers from our group CEO, quite reassuring. Your kind words, very well noted, and we feel inspired to do more. On behalf of the board, we appreciate you all. We shall now proceed to the other agenda items. Resolutions by poll and show of hands. Pursuant to Section 248 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, I hereby declare that a poll be taken on all resolutions for consideration at this meeting, except the resolution for the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee, which shall be by show of hands. Since this is an annual general meeting by proxy, and the votes on all the proxy forms duly submitted have been collated by the registrars, I would ask the registrars to share the voting results on the resolution upon the introduction for consideration. For the ordinary resolutions to be considered today, a simple majority of the total votes from the proxies received will be required to pass the resolutions, whereas 75% of the total votes from the proxies received will be required to pass the special resolutions. First resolution, declaration of dividend of 2 kobo per share. Kobo, kobo. The next item on the agenda is the declaration of dividend. For the financial year ended December 31, 2021, the directors are recommending a dividend of 2 kobo for every ordinary share of 50 kobo each, to be paid to all shareholders whose names are in the company's register of members as of Friday, April 18, 2022. I hereby move that a dividend of 2 kobo for every ordinary share of 50 kobo each be paid to shareholders whose names appear in the company's register of members as at the close of business on Friday, April 8, 2022. Will someone please second the motion? Okay, Dr. Farouk.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Dr. Farouk Umar. I strongly support the motion.
Thank you. Thank you. And I put... Okay, thank you. We'll be sitting since, so it's good. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, for the purpose of this meeting, we received 338 proxies with a total of 23,191,519,537 units of shares, representing 57.05% of the share capital of the company. For the declaration of dividend, 23,191,519,537 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution.
Opposition
and there
is
no
absent.
abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been unanimously carried. Next item on the agenda is to approve the appointment of Malam Madu Sambo as a director of your company. I hereby move that the appointment of Malam Amadou Sambo as a director of our company be and is hereby approved. Will someone please second the motion? Kabir. Yes, please.
This meeting is by proxy. So, by CAC and for our records, motion should be seconded by those listed on the proxy.
Excuse me, under the same law, the tough time does not last, only tough people do. CAC could have some challenges. The law said shareholders should second the motion. Proxy is just by privilege. Don't say because you are a proxy, somebody else cannot spoil. It's not normal.
Let me
go back to the rule.
Hold on.
Check the rules, sir.
Hold on. You know, hold on, exactly. You know, High Chief was in the military for 31 years. 35. And those days when we were growing up, they used to tell us that they give them a certain injection when they join military. And at the same like that, they are very, eager to go. I think the good thing about this, our gathering and shareholders is you're all very informed and we learn from you all. In fact, actually, our criminal justice man, the criminal prevention man, I took note of what you said, and we will have conversations subsequently and see how we can work together, because the society is tough. I think Dr. Farouk is right, and I would thank you for your kind observation. So everyone, the definition of shareholder, yes, what we are, when we started this meeting is predicated on the approval we got from CSC on the project. So let's proceed that way. We like our share. You can see I was ready to, but let's go with the registered progress so that no one tomorrow, because the decision we are taking here are fundamental. We take today are fundamental. We don't, in law, thank you, sir. They said let's be superfluous than inadequate. So, okay. All right, thanks, sir. So, BC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi. I second the motion.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting, and registrar kindly announce the result of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the appointment of Malam Amadou Sambu as the director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows: 22,720,344,801 units of shares, representing 97.97% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 471,174,736 units of shares, representing 2.03% of the votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Malam Amadou Sambo, congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is to approve the appointment of Mr. Victor Famoibo as a director of the company. I hereby move that the appointment of Mr. Victor Famoibo as a director of our company be and is hereby approved. Will someone please second the motion? Okay. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the appointment of Mr. Victor Famuyibo as a director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows: 22,720,344,801 units of shares, representing 97.97% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 471,174,736 units of shares, representing 2.03% of the votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Congratulations, Victor. The next item on the agenda is to approve the appointment of Mr. Oliver Andrews as a director of our company. I hereby move that the appointment of Mr. Oliver Andrews as a director of the company be and is hereby approved. Will someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Bakari Adebisi. I so do.
Okay. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the appointment of Mr. Oliver Andrews as the director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows. 23,125,084,822 units of shares, representing 99.71% of the votes cast by proxies voted in favor of the resolution. 66,434,715 units of shares, representing 0.29% of the votes cast by proxies voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Congratulations, Oliver Andrews. Next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors. In line with the provisions of Article 23 of the Articles of Association of our company, at the annual general meeting in every subsequent year, 1/3 of the non-executive directors shall retire from office. The following directors are currently retiring by rotation. My humble self, Mrs. Foluke Abrazak, our vice, and Dr. Stanley Lawson. The directors are eligible for re-election and have put themselves up for re-election. Since I am standing for re-election, I will step aside for the vice chair, Mrs. Foluke Abrazak, to preside over my re-election. Vice Chair, over to you, please. No, she will preside.
You must come back. You know what I say. Kai. Okay. You.
That Mr. Tony O. Elumelu, CON, a non-executive director, who's retiring by rotation and has offered himself for re-election B and is hereby elected as a non-executive director of the company. Will someone please second the motion?
In view of the good leadership we are getting from our chairman, I hereby second the motion.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to re-elect Mr. Tony O. Elumelu, CON, as a director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows. 22,720,344,801 units of shares, representing 97.97% of the votes cast by proxies voted in favor of the resolution. 471,174,736 units of shares, representing 2.0% of the votes cast by proxies voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Congratulations, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, esteemed shareholders. And thank you, Vice Chair, for being a good INEC. Having been re-elected, I will now take over from Vice Chair and continue with the proceedings of the meeting. I hereby move that Mrs. Foluke Abrazak, a non-executive director who is retiring by rotation and has offered herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a non-executive director of our company. Will someone please second the motion? BC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Bakari Adebisi, I second the motion.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to re-elect Mrs. Foluke Abdulrazak as a non-executive director of the company, the results of the poll is as follows: 22,720,344,801 units of shares, representing 97.97% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 471,174,736 units of shares, representing 2.03% of the votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Congratulations. That's nice. I hereby move that Dr. Stanley Lawson, a non-executive director who is retiring by rotation and has offered himself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a non-executive director of the company. Will someone please second the motion? Dr. Farouk.
Mr. Chairman, in view of the fact that Dr. has attended 100% all the meetings at the board meeting, while SEC requests only 75%, I second that motion.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to re-elect Dr. Stanley Lawson as a non-executive director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows: 23,125,084,822 units of shares, representing 99.71% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 66,434,715 units of shares, representing 0.29% of the votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Congratulations, Dr. Lawson. You will notice he scored nearly 100%. Some of us, I scored 97.9 or 97.8. Almost, he's number one. You're the favorite of all shareholders. You may see that. All right, congratulations. Yeah, no, he is. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors. Dr. Lassie, did you hear what he said? He said you have the face of a woman. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of our external auditors. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the year ending December 31, 2022. Will someone please second the motion?
Mrs. Bakari Adebisi, I so do.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors, the result of the poll is as follows: 22,786,779,5 516 units of shares, representing 98.25% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 404,740,021 units of shares, representing 1.75% of votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the disclosure of the remuneration of the managers of the company. Section 238 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires that the remuneration of the managers of the company should be disclosed at the annual general meeting. May I request that you kindly refer to page 137 of the annual report for the remuneration of the managers of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC for the year ended December 31, 2021. The next item on the agenda is the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee. The directors nominated to represent the board on the Statutory Audit Committee are Dr. Stanley Lawson and Mr. Victor Famoyibo. The Company Secretary has confirmed that a total of 3 valid nominations were received for membership of the Audit Committee from shareholders. The following members have been validly nominated to represent shareholders on the Audit Committee. Mr. John Isesele, shareholder. Mr. Matthew Esenenjo, shareholder. And Ms. Judith Rapu, shareholder. In accordance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act, election of shareholder representatives on the Audit Committee is to be by show of hands. Since 3 shareholders are required to serve on the Statutory Audit Committee as representatives of shareholders, and there are 3 valid nominations from the shareholders, there shall be no need for an election. It will be time-saving to approve the election of all the members of the Statutory Audit Committee with a single resolution. I hereby therefore move that the election of all the members of the Statutory Audit Committee be done with a single resolution. Would someone please second the motion? Dr. Farid.
Mr. Chairman, I do second that motion. Thank you.
All right. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your hands. Would all those against the motion signify by raising their hands? Opposition is outside. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Distinguished shareholders, I hereby move that pursuant to Section 404, subsections 3 and 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the Statutory Audit Committee be and is hereby constituted for the 2022 financial year with the following members: Mr. John Isesele, shareholder; Matthew Esenenjo, shareholder; Judith Rapu, shareholder; Dr. Stanley Lawson, non-executive director; and Mr. Victor Famoyibo, independent non-executive director. Will someone please second the motion? BC seconds the motion. No, thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your hands. Would all those against the motion please signify by raising their hands too? They are in transit. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you. Please, you may be seated. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the director to undertake necessary business arrangements. I therefore propose that shareholders consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions. 1, that the company be and is hereby authorized to invest in, acquire, or divest from any business and or carry out as the director may deem appropriate and in accordance with the relevant laws any actions, including but not limited to restructuring, reorganization, reconstruction, and such other business arrangement, exercise, or actions. 2, that subject to regulatory approval where necessary, the directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps and do all acts that they deem necessary in furtherance of the above, including but not limited to executing and filing all such forms, papers, or documents as may be required with the appropriate authorities, appointing professional advisors and parties that they deem necessary upon such terms and conditions that the directors may deem appropriate. I hereby move that the above stated resolutions be and are hereby approved. And I know Dr. Farouk seconds.
Mr. Chairman, I do second this motion. Thank you.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the proposed resolutions, the result of the poll is as follows. 22,720,344,801 units of shares, representing 97.96% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 66,434,715 units of shares, representing 0.29% of the votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. 404,740,021 units of shares, representing 1.75% of the votes cast by proxies, abstained. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is to approve the change of the name of our company from Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC to Transnational Corporation PLC. I hereby move that the name of the company be and is hereby changed from Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC to Transnational Corporation PLC. Will someone please second the motion? BC.
Bakari Adebisi, I second the motion.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the change of name, the result of the poll is as follows. 23,191,519,537 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution and none abstained. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's very good. We have shareholders who have foresight. You know, as the group CEO said when she was responding to the comment by shareholders, Transcorp started. Yeah, that is nice. Maybe at lunch there will be more ceremony around this. But yes, Transcorp started as a Nigerian organization, but is fast under their leadership moving to a Pan-African organization. For instance, Transcorp, your company, is one of the suppliers of electricity to the Republic of Benin. And so we're not just a Nigerian company again, which is actually the vision that the founding fathers of Transcorp had in mind. So under Owen's leadership and our team, we are gradually fulfilling this. So the name of the company is changed to Transnational Corporation PLC, not just Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC, or Transcorp Group. Yeah? Some of us would like to call it Transcorp Group. I like that, Transcorp Group PLC. That's good. Okay. The next item on the agenda is to pass a resolution to cancel our company's unissued shares. I hereby move that pursuant to Section 131 and other applicable provisions, if any, of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the authorized share capital of the company be and is hereby reduced from 22,500 million naira divided into 45 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to 20,323,995,146 naira 50 kobo divided into 40,647,990,293 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each by cancelling 4,352,009,707 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, which have not been issued. Company Secretary is making this job tough. It's a quiz. Will someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion to cancel the unissued shares of the company. Thank you.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting registrar. Kindly announce results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the reduction of the share capital, the result of the poll is as follows: 23,191,519,537 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution and no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been unanimously carried. The next item on the agenda is to pass a resolution to amend the company's memorandum of association following the approval of the approval to cancel the company's unissued shares. I hereby move that Clause 6 of the memorandum of association of the company be and is hereby amended and substituted with the following: the share capital of the company is 20,323,995,146 naira 50 kobo, divided into 40,647,990,293 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, with power to divide the shares in the capital for the time being, whether original or increased into several classes. Will someone please second the motion?
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman. Bakari Adebisi.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrar, kindly announce results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to approve the amendment of Clause 6 of the Memorandum of Association of the company, the result of the poll is as follows: 23,191,519,537 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been unanimously carried. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as there is no other business on the agenda, I thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting and showing so much interest in the affairs of your company. May I call on, okay, may I call on Kabir to say the closing prayers for us.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I pray Almighty Allah to help this company, to help us, to help our leaders, not rulers, to return us to our various destinations safely. The dividend we are going to get tomorrow, to bless it. God willing, next year, we hope to get better dividend than this year. I pray Almighty Allah, the Ramadan we are today, we are this month, to bless us, to bless our country, the insecurity we are facing in this country, especially in the north. I pray Almighty Allah to intervene on it so that to be a history and not to happen again, not only in Nigeria, anywhere.
Amen.
Those people that are sickness, I pray God Almighty to help them. We that are here now to continue blessing in good health, to bless our chairman, his mother, and everybody. I pray God Almighty to return us to our various destinations safely. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amen.
Wow, nice prayer. I see you like my mom. I will pass your message to her. National anthem, please. Gentlemen, I'm told by the group CEO that lunch is served at Zuma, so we may proceed to have lunch. Let them spoil us a little hospitality. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Big brother, that's how they shake now. Okay, sir.
Can you come back today?
Oh, I can't all give. We are going to be at lunch. We'll talk about this, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, far. Exactly. No, even why they see you at UBA.